Hello everybody, this is Andrew at Fixology. I know it's been a little bit, but I am trying to get back into the swing of things. So hopefully you guys are all doing well. I'm doing okay, just been extremely busy. So down to the nitty gritty today, we have a Galaxy S10 Plus that needs a screen replacement. So I've had it on the hot plate for about, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. Because as with pretty much all Galaxy devices, they have to go through the back of the device to get to the front, because the back covers all the frame stuff. So what I'm going to be doing is removing the back glass on it, and then my repair is actually one that has the screen and the frame attached to it. So what I'll be doing is essentially swapping all the internals to the new body, instead of just replacing the screen itself, which I'll probably do another video of just showing how to oh, excuse me. I'll do another video where I'll show how you get to that point if you don't have access to the framed assembly, you only have just the screen portion. So that'll probably be at a later video, which I'm hoping I can get a couple more out, and we're going to get back on track of getting them like one every week or every other week. So yeah, so we have the sky blue one. So looks pretty nice. I like the color on it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to start by getting the back glass off, which for these guys, I like to start in the bottom left corner. I just find it the easiest. I take an Isesmo, or you can take the suction cup, pull it up and get it in there, and then you do need to get some sort of like pick or even like a playing card, like a card. Those work actually pretty well in this situation as well. So I'm just going to slowly start rotating my way around here. These aren't my thin ones. And then I do have a little bit of alcohol here, which not going to hurt anything. We always have adhesive to reapply everything that falls off. I just need to get a pick in here because plastic is a lot more gentle on glass than metal is. Alright. That one's in. This one's in. Now, you don't want to go too far in. It's not like the newer Samsungs where they have multiple flexes going across the middle. But obviously, the more you jam it in there, the higher risk of damage it becomes. So I'm just going to slowly work my way around. And then from here, everybody's got a little bit of a different of a technique. I like to go down one side at a time. Or if they're loose enough, I can sometimes go down both. So I'm just going to slowly work my way down. And it's starting to get tight here. So I'm going to put a little alcohol. And by the way, you can buy applicators like these like pretty much anywhere, or if you have like a syringe, that works too. Just nice and easy all the way down to the bottom, or technically the top of the device, but you know. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, it's a little tight, so I'm going to put some alcohol. That'll help eat away at the adhesive, or weaken the adhesive. Let me show. There we go. And you do want to be really careful on the Samsungs because these are glass backs. So the worst that can happen is it breaks. Which anybody who does repairs on phones, shit happens. You all know this. We always want to try our best not to let shit happen, but sometimes it just does. If it does break, it's not the end of the world. The back glasses are relatively inexpensive. I would just let whoever you know you got the phone that you did the phone repair be like, hey, sorry, I cracked this on repair. It's together right now. It will work. Keep it away from water, obviously, because it's got a crack in the glass. And then let them know that you will be replacing it for them for no charge. And it's not going to hurt you too much monetarily wise or time, because once they come back in to get that back glass, you can just rip the bastard off, and you know it's already cracked. It's already cracked. All right, so now another guy up here. Okay, so now I got it weak enough to a point where I can start prying it upwards, which I use an Isesmo for that. You can use like a spudger or something like that, like a fat spudger like this. That would probably work just fine as well. And then all I'm going to do is just slowly go upwards, nice and smooth. Ooh, that was weird. Camera went out of focus for a second. And there we go. Back glass is off in one piece, which is always a great thing to feel. I mean, you know, I do it a lot, so but it's still always one of those things like, great, I didn't break it. Don't have to worry about getting one in, and the customer doesn't have to be disappointed that I caused more damage. So, whoa. God, this energy drink is making me gassy as hell. Put this off to the side. Ah, case is in the way. Oop, no, not like that. That'll get caught. Alright. Let's move all this crap out of the way. Alright. And now we're on to the fun part of the Samsungs. Crap ton of screws, but they're all the same screws. They're just like, you know, 15, 20, sometimes more in there, but they're all the same. So we'll get them all out, and we'll pop all these black pieces, these frame pieces out. Which actually, I can show off a new little thing. I finally got a fun organizer. Got this little guy. Whee! It rotates. And then it's got like a little magnet area. I needed an organizer for the desk. Otherwise, all my tools, you've probably seen in other videos, but all the tools are just chilling on this side and just an absolute chaotic mess. Which I know where everything is, but it looks horrible. And honestly, this looks much better. So I just want to make sure to grab the correct tool, which I need the double pH. There you go, double Phillips head. And so now we are going to go ahead and start removing all these screws, which hopefully I can talk through the whole time. If not, I'll just speed it up slightly. So yeah, just going to get all these screws out of the way, and we'll go on to the next step. I know I've been very inconsistent lately with doing my videos, and I do apologize for that. For those that actually do subscribe to me, which thank you, by the way. I didn't think I would get this many people who want to watch my dumb ass do repairs and just talk nonsense for, you know, 20-30 minutes. Work, my actual day job has been kind of busy the last couple months. Kind of sucks. Transitioning into the busy season for us, which is winter. We had a lot of inventories in the area, and I helped out at, well, I'm going to be helping out at all of our other locations just to, because people are getting sick. One of our work coworkers got in a car accident, so they're out for a while. So everything's just been kind of going against me to want to put stuff on the channel. And I know I should be probably putting more stuff on like social media, like on my Facebook page, or, you know, putting notifications up on the YouTube channel. But I'm so bad at that crap. I know I was born during that time of, you know, internet coming up, you know, being, you know, I was born in '91, so I have all of this internet stuff. I was born with it, but I don't know. I just never been one of those people who was huge on social media. Like, I have a Facebook. That's pretty much about it. I have a Snapchat, but that was just for some talking to like old friends kind of stuff. But I don't have a Twitter. Don't have an Instagram. I'm working on my OnlyFans though, so you'll get a bunch of feet pic from me for eventually. And with that, I know social media is such a huge deal especially for any sort of business these days. Obviously, I can't advertise on TV or radio. I don't have that kind of freaking money. But I got business cards. That's something. And so, yeah. All right. We'll get back to me talking about that stuff in a bit. All right. So now I have all the pieces off. Now, you need to remember that since we're transferring all this stuff to the new body, there is one thing that people a lot of times will forget. You got to pop out the SIM card tray. Oh, where are you at? Yep, SIM card tray. Otherwise, that's actually part, you know, the SIM card reader's a part of this, of the motherboard. So if you try to take the motherboard out and this piece is in, you're going to give yourself some headache and possibly cause some damage to the phone. So pop this one out. There it is. And if it comes with a SIM card or anything like that, make sure you don't lose it. And I'm going to flip it upside down because I know there's numbers on there, and who knows, maybe there's one weirdo out there watching my video that's like, oh, I can get a free SIM card number or something like that. I hope not, but, you know, people are that way. Okay, so easiest way is just want to start on a corner. I generally start on the right side, something with a narrow end to it. You're gonna go upwards, and this is just a little bit of adhesive on the bottom here. If it falls off, no big deal. But it should just come off in one piece like this, which this has components on it, primarily the loudspeaker down here, some power for the NFC transmitter. That's that connector to go there. So, yeah, so put that to the side as well. And here we have the main component, the motherboard, which on the S10s, they transitioned to doing one giant board, which, you know, makes it easy popping it out, but it does make it a pain in the butt if, like, say a charging port goes. You need to get some, you gotta find somebody who does a micro solder, which I do some micro solder, but I haven't gotten any of these guys yet. So, I should probably stock up on C-port chargers if that ever happens. Whatever. Alright, first thing we always do, disconnect the battery. Boom, out, done. Alright, and then we're going to go through and start disconnecting everything else. Once I just double check if there's... Yep, there are some in here. Alright. Sometimes I forget if there are security, like screws that hold the motherboard down, so this one is only for that spot. I don't know if you need to label it or anything like that, but that's like a grounding point. Obviously, I've done them enough. I'll remember where it goes. And then there are normally some down by the charging area, so down here. In this case, it's right next to the charging port itself. Alright, out we go. Okay, so now we need to start removing points. Get you out of here. So we're going to disconnect this piece here. There you go. That's a front-facing camera. Put it off to the side. Right here, this is the LCD connector, so this connects to the screen, just this piece right here. And then the 10s still did have a auxiliary port, so they had it for a 3.5 millimeter for headphones and such. Sometimes these are a little stuck in there, so yeah, that's not gonna be too tough. So there we go. Get something a little harder, just wedge it in the corner. There's no components right here, so you can't really damage anything, and that pops right out. Put that up there as well, out of the way. All right, so now it should be. There we go. Yep, it should just pop right out. And it'll be a little bit stuck on the bottom by the C charger. And there we go. That is the entire motherboard. Now, you want to make sure when you put this guy down, put it on a rubber mat or on something non-conductive and not slippery so it doesn't slide off. In this case, since I'm kind of limited on space here, let me move this out of the way. I'm just going to put a microfiber cloth on top of the desk. Yeah. That way it's not scratching anything. And I'm going to put it with the cameras facing down into the microfiber. That way nothing lands on it or I don't actually scratch it. So, alright. So now, next step is when you get these framed assemblies, depending where you get them from, they sometimes come with components. Sometimes they do not, including the battery, loudspeaker at the top, ear speaker, sorry, and then the vibrator. So, and I'm guessing this one's already been repaired before too, because this is a silver frame, but if you remember, it has a light blue black backing. So I'm guessing it's been repaired before. Which, if that's the case, whoever did it did a good job. Alright, so we're going to move these out of the way. Alright, so here is the new piece. This is the sky blue. It's got that nice little pretty light blue to it. Kind of like the blue that you saw in the 14s. Even though this is a S10. Whatever. So we're just going to do a little comparison real quick. As you can tell, this isn't any sort of, this isn't a an original. You know, it's not a Samsung part or anything like that. It doesn't have like all the same labels and whatever. But I'm just looking for components that are still here. So you have the vibrator, that's fine. Loudspeaker, that's fine. And the only thing I'll need to do is transfer over the battery, which honestly, that's pretty easy to do. So then, the only thing I wish I could have offered person I'm working on, I wish I could have offered them a battery to swap it out, because this one's from 2019, you can see right on there. So it's been in there for a few years. Actually, just hit 4 years in July. So hopefully, this is an intermediate phone. Both of their phones broke, so this is the cheap one to fix right now, and they'll probably contact me in a month or two when they want to get their newer one fixed, which I think was like an S22 or an S23 Ultra, which obviously, being a newer generation phone, and the big-ass one, really expensive to fix. Even through me helping them out, it's still up there in price. So, I'm going to throw that on the hot plate for another 5 minutes or so, because the adhesive on the back needs to weaken. And I don't really have much more to talk about right this second. So what I'll do is I'll probably just, I will come back to you guys when that thing is all heated up so you can watch me take the battery out. So I'll be back in just a moment. Alright, we got it. It's been on there for a few minutes now, hot enough to start working on it. I have always found when removing the batteries from Samsungs, the adhesive isn't nearly as weird as the newer iPhones, but it's not as weak as the old iPhones. So I put adhesive along all 4 of the exposed corners, at sides. And contrary to what people say about sticking metal pieces with batteries, because obviously they're lithium, if you split them, they're going to be some fire. I have found if you put the flat end of them in there and just gently pry up a little bit, it starts to loosen. Then I work my way down, applying a little more pressure each time, make sure my blade is flat along the base. And in doing so, the alcohol penetrates more and more into the adhesive, and now we get some lifting. Then all I do is wedge it out and pull straight out. This has honestly worked for me for a long time, and I've never once cut a battery. Knock on wood. Whoops. I think it works great. Especially with the alcohol going through and eating away all of it. You can still see some of it on here, obviously. I think it works the best. That's just my opinion. It's what works for me. I'm going to stick to it. And then also, when you are doing like this, you're just going at the corners. This is the screen right here. So obviously, if I'm right here on the frame, I have virtually no chance of damaging the screen at all if I were to be doing any other work on it, So, battery's out. If there's any clumps of stuff on it, I remove them. Alright, so that is the old broken-ass screen. And when I mean broken, I mean this thing, like, the LCD was completely shot. There was some, like, pinkish yellow at the bottom, and that's about it. And it was flashing like crazy, so. Sweet. And then what I'll do is I'll probably salvage these parts, and I'll save them for later. Maybe another phone might need a vibrator, or maybe the ear speaker goes out. Gets up there, gets dirty, could fail. So, we'll do that. I'm running a room. Okay, I'll just swap it with you. Yeah. Alright. New screen. Only difference, it's blue. And it doesn't have a battery in it, so that's the first thing we will do. Actually, you know what? It's going to be the last thing I do, because what I have found out sometimes is when you put the battery in first, sometimes this little flex for the battery doesn't quite reach it, and you have to angle it at weird ways, and that puts extra tension on the flex, which I don't want to do, obviously. So I'm going to throw the board in first, so I can make sure I have a good connection to said battery. Start at the bottom, because that charge port has to wiggle in place, and then you should just be able to lie it straight down. Do not touch the lenses. If for whatever reason you do, take like a Q-tip, put a little alcohol on it, clean it off, and then flip it around and use that side to wipe it off, because you don't want fingerprints on there. But all this other stuff, you're pretty much fine to touch. I would have gloves on it, but I don't have any right now. Unfortunately, I'm out. And they're expensive right now. Pack of gloves for my small ass hands. It's still like 30, 40 bucks for gloves right now. It's freaking crazy. Alright, so now this normally means there's some sort of adhesive underneath. Yep, there is, so. Take that off, throw it away. And then what I'm going to do temporarily is just hook it up. I haven't pushed the power button on, so I should be fine. And I'm just going to make sure it's lined up perfectly. Or almost perfectly. There we go. No weird extra strain on it, and then I know once I disconnect it, I will be perfect to reconnect it when I come to that point. Perfect. Alright. And then I do know this phone's dead, too. I did hook it up. It is charging, and the screen comes on for the charging mode, but it is dead, so I'm not going to be able to do the testing right afterwards. So once I am all set and done... Also, I just realized that's a little bit off. Once I am all set and done, I'm unfortunately not going to be able to show it turning on. I'll have to wait like 20-30 minutes while it charges, So, and I got other stuff I got to do today. So I'm just going to just put it together, and I'll perform the testing later. Alright, so let's start putting stuff back in place. The millimeter jack goes down here, bottom first, then reconnect at the top there. Front-facing cameras, again, try not to touch the camera portion, just grab it by the side, or if you're wearing gloves, then you don't really worry about it. That's connected. The LCD connector. I mean, I guess what I can at least do is hook it up to the charger so we get a picture, because I wasn't able to get a picture last time at all. Make sure that's nice and connected, which it feels like it is. All right. And then we will put these screws back in place. So there are 2 at the bottom. Just want to double check that's, yeah, that's right, okay. Sometimes it looks a little weird. Ugh. Oh man. Man, sleep. Sleeping is just not fun for me lately. Haven't been able to get a good night's sleep in a while. Oh no! Well, that's not good. Caught it. Some of the times I wish I had the Magnum mat underneath here, but it just doesn't look as clean. Well, actually, let's be real. This is pretty dirty too. All right. Got everything in, everything connected. So we'll throw the battery back on. Come on, just go to your home. Come on, buddy. You're almost there. There we go. And then for most of the Samsungs, you have to have this back piece on because the phone isn't detecting some portions and it just won't allow itself to turn on. So you will have to put the back glass or the frame on it temporarily to verify if everything's working. And then probably need to put a couple of the screws in so that way they don't move and anything like that. I'll just put them in like places that are sticking up the most. Like this piece right here sticks out a lot, so I'll put a screw in there. And then I'll generally put one at the top. Huh. Hold on, gotta sneeze. Ugh. Sorry about that. Gotta magnetize you. Get off! I don't know where that came from. Oh, I know, I know where that came from. And then I'll put one like right here in the middle. All right. So it doesn't have power, so I don't think it's going to turn on. Yeah, nothing. All right. But got my charger here, and I got my amp meter over in the corner here. Hey! All right, so we got a screen. That's already 100 times better than what it was at. So, and that's going to stay in that screen until it's at a point where it'll turn on, which is normally like 15 minutes or so. When a battery is super dead like this, they always pull at a slow rate just because it's, you know, using it for the first time in a while. And it'll do that for probably like 15-20 minutes. So, got a screen, fully lit. That's good. So I'm just going to take you out for now. Alright, so then we are going to finish putting everything back in place. So that means all these fun screws. But like I said, they are all the same, so it does not matter where you put them. So, wasn't too bad a repair. It's only been like 24 minutes. I mean, I don't know. I'll normally quote people a couple hours just in case I have to do other stuff to it. But if everything goes according to plan, it's real fast. I mean, a lot of us get to the point where it's fast enough where we can do iPhones in like... What the hell? Huh. That was a little weird. Must have been some NEC stuck in there. We can get to the point where we're doing iPhones in like 15, 20 minutes realistically. I still think that might be a little too fast, just because then you can run the risk of causing, if you're too fast, you can cause some damage. And I would much rather not have to do that. Damaging flexes, a little too fast on this and that. But I would say good quality work on most most screen repairs can be done in 30 to 45 minutes. Hour is probably like the average, maybe. But then again, that always depends on what phone you're fixing and things like that. Like, I know the Z Flips, those guys are way more of a pain. Like, I would definitely quote 2-3 hours on those, just because they're not user-friendly repairable. They are repairable, but they're not friendly, even for people who are experienced. Come on, catch. There we go. Sometimes the anti-seize is stuck. All right. So I got this coming on. So I want to ask you guys a question. Do you guys want me to try and fix other things than, like, phones and maybe, small electronics? Like, I'm thinking, like, maybe doing, like, stuff like maybe key fobs, or even, like, dumber stuff like, hey, this piece broke off of my chair. Like, just because it's Fixology, I'm willing to try to give anything a fix. I do want to stay towards the electronic side, but if you guys want me to try some of the weirder stuff, I'm more than happy to. I just don't know what I would end up having to fix, or what I can even get around to doing. And then don't forget to put that back in. The SIM tray is going to be a different color, unfortunately, because it had a different colored frame, so it's like a silver, and they don't come with new SIM card trays. So other than that, it should be fine. All right, and let me see here. Is the adhesive still sticky? It's still kind of sticky. I think we can get away with reusing it. You can sometimes get away with reusing the adhesive once or twice that are on it. Actually, I don't know if this one's going to be it anymore. Well, let me see here. If it sticks well, just without any sort of heat, maybe it'll be a good sign. Yeah, it's actually a good seal. All right. So I'm just not going to add adhesive. If I did, I just use my Tessa tape, that little gray fabric stuff. You can use the red double-sided adhesive. It's just a little thicker, so it makes it sit a little higher. That's why I like the Tessa tape more. But no, this is working just fine. So, all right. So now at this point, I would consider it done. I'm going to do the final steps, which are putting it on the hot plate for a couple minutes just to get the adhesive nice and squishy again, and then I will end up. What am I doing? What am I saying? I will end up applying pressure to it to hold it in place, like some sort of press. But like I said, I don't have a full body press, so I use these guys, which again, I don't like, because they apply pressure at points instead of across evenly the whole back. So I'm still trying to find a good press, but I will use these at least temporarily. Or you can put a microfiber down and put, like, something that's got, like 5 pounds of weight on top of it, and then just apply it across the whole back. Maybe, like, I don't know, some big old books. Maybe you got a box of crap lying around, stuff like that. So that's what I will end up doing. So as it stands right now, the repair is done, and I will do like I said, I'll do the check later. I feel like I'm repeating myself. I'm losing my mind here. It's been a while since I recorded a video. Thanks for watching, and I will definitely be trying my best to be doing more of these, trying to get back to that once a week or once every other week kind of thing, and that way I can talk to you guys more. So have a great rest of your day, guys. Later.